Hi guys, horrible wet miserable old day here, it's cold and nasty, so I've finished my shoeing, come in the workshop and I want to do something I've been meaning to do for a long while, which is try and melt down some of my excess copper and actually make a little heatsink for welding. I'm not getting the copper anymore, I've weighed all that I've had in and this is all I've got left, this little tin full. So as I'm not going to get any more, I think I'll try and make this little heatsink. I don't know how much this lot's going to go down to, but I've had a little look around the workshop. I found this old tin. I think the lid will just be about right. If I can fill that up, this is an old BOC goggles tin. I don't know how old that is. Probably worth more than the copper. Anyway, I'm going to try and fill that up, and that should make a nice, reasonable sized sort of heat sink. Difficult to tell how much this is going to go down to. It actually weighs quite a bit, but I suppose it's got a lot of air between it. Anyway, we've got the fire going, so we're going to get my sort of crucible thing in there and give it a go. This is what I use. It's a bit of heavyweight tube with a big thick bit welded in the bottom and a lip put on it. I melt all sorts of things, not copper, lead and aluminium and all sorts for making bits and pieces in this. But I've never melted copper in it, so I don't know how long it's going to take, or even if I can do it. I've got no idea what sort of temperature copper melts at, so we'll let it get a bit warm and we'll dump some of this in and see what happens. Got a bit in, it's not very hot yet, it's probably as hot as it'll take to melt lead, but it's nowhere near yet. But I've stuffed a load of wire in and sort of pushed it right down to the bottom, it's making contact. Now it's really going, you can see the old material, whatever I've had in there before, bubbling out of the sides of the, the sort of crucible thing, and it's really getting hot now. The copper's still not melting. Right, now this is getting ridiculous. It's really, really hot now, and it's just started to melt. The problem is, you can see those little white sparks. It means that the crucible is actually melting as well from the bottom. So I'm going to give it a pour before the bottom melts out of the crucible. Let's see what happens. You can see those white sparks coming off the bottom there and see what it's done to it. It's really almost melted it. There you go, and would you believe I put 90% of that copper in there and that's only made that amount. I'm really disappointed in that. I really thought that sort of 90% or it's probably 75% of that would have filled that up. It obviously hasn't. So whilst that bit cools down, I'll stick the crucible back on while it's still nice and hot and try and melt down the last little bit, see if we can fill this up. That's cooled down while I've been heating up the other bit. It's just about done now, so we're going to pour it in before the poor crucible has had it. See how hot that is, I can almost not touch it. I was hoping that this would amalgamate, and that's still not enough. And I don't think they're going to amalgamate, not like lead would. Let's see how hot that's got. It really has. Almost white hot. Anyway, we'll let this cool down. See if we can get it out. Let's see what happens. It looks still a bit, oh yeah, it's a bit hot still, but it looks a bit of a mess. But I'll cool it down, or let it cool down and see if we can get it out. Well, I've got most of it out and it didn't amalgamate, so we've got two lumps. And this bit, which is the best bit, the first one, I can't get all of the steel off the back there. It's stuck like shit to a blanket. But I think it will do the job. Unfortunately, it's gone very brittle, unlike ordinary copper, which you could heat to cherry and cool quickly, which will make it go like butter. This hasn't. It's really, really crystalline and hard. Anyway, it might do the job. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.